Hello everyone and welcome to The Otherworld. I'm your host, the Mad Raven, and in today's episode we're going to be looking into abduction experiences. So sit back and relax. As always, take every story with a grain of salt. The first story comes from a woman named Samantha McDonald, who experienced repeated extraterrestrial encounters since the early 1990s. In 2014, she appeared on the British daytime program This Morning, where she discussed her experiences publicly. According to McDonald, two different extraterrestrial species were involved in the encounters. She described the first as the familiar small gray beings commonly reported in abduction stories. The second species, which she claimed played a more of a dominant role, Kinky, was a reptilian in appearance. I'm sorry guys, I don't know what came over me when I said kinky. But yes, they were apparently reptilian species that were the dominant ones, which, you know what, I could get into. I'm kidding. McDonald said that her memory of the encounters were often incomplete. She believed the entities intentionally erased her recollection after each event. Her awareness of the abductions was therefore limited to fragments, unusual physical symptoms, and the lingering sense that she has been taken somewhere unfamiliar. I'm kind of jealous. I kind of wish a reptilian swept me off my feet and took me somewhere unfamiliar. And down. I can't even finish that sentence. I'm sorry. When she woke after several suspected abduction incidents, she reported finding unexplained marks on her body, including small punctures, scratches, and bruising. 3 physical traces are often cited in abduction claims, though they remain difficult to verify in a controlled scientific context. She said that during one encounter, she attempted to communicate with the beings and ask why they were repeatedly targeting her. According to McDonald, the entities told her they were interested in her energy and what she described as her soul essence. She believed that the interest might be connected to her involvement in meditation and healing practices, which she felt may have produced a heightened energetic state. Despite the unsettling nature of the claims, McDonald stated that she was not afraid of the beings. Instead, she expressed curiosity about their intentions. You know what? Honestly, I would too. If I was being dominated by a lizard, I'd be like, bro, what are you doing with that tail, man? She also claimed that after publicly discussing the encounter, she began noticing an unusual surveillance activity around her home. She reported seeing police vehicles parked nearby for extended periods of time and helicopters flying low over the area, though no official confirmation of such monitoring has ever been surfaced. So what do you guys think about this story? Let me know down in the comments below. The next story is about a young teen and their family who experienced a family abduction event. The witnesses state that the encounter occurred while spending the summer in Missouri with extended family, including a grandma, aunt, uncle, and cousins. He had fallen asleep in his cousin's bedroom when he suddenly sensed something at the window. Upon opening his eyes, he saw what appeared to be his recently deceased grandmother standing there. Man, if I woke up and I saw my dead grandma there, I'd be like, bro, get away from me. I'm kidding. I love my grandma. She's not dead, by the way. 10 more years. No, I'm kidding. That's so fucked up. She appeared translucent, visibly haggard and disheveled. Her demeanor felt negative or disturbed. Without speaking, she floated out of the room. The witness followed her down the hallway in what he described as a trance-like state. At the end of the hallway stood a second entity. He described it as resembling the fictional character Roger from the animated series American Dad. Shit, Roger, my man, my boy, my gray alien, what's up, dude? But with solid black eyes. The being was shorter than the witness, who was approximately 5 feet 6 inches at the time, and had a grayish tan coloration. I don't know what I would do if I saw Roger the alien from American Dad. Honestly, I'd probably smoke with him. He seems cool. The entity exited through the door. Still in a trance, the witness followed it outside. Hovering roughly 50 feet above the ground was a large dish-shaped craft. The farmhouse had neighbors nearby, making the presence of such a massive object seemingly impossible. Implausible. There we go. Implausible. The craft was purple with an ornate gold trim. The witness distinctly recalls being surprised by how decorative and elaborate it appeared. He doesn't remember boarding the craft. His next memory places him inside a rectangular room illuminated in a purple light. The walls emitted a glow similar to black light. Present in the room was his aunt and both cousins. All appeared to be standing calmly. One cousin remarked that they had been abducted by aliens. The aunt pulled the witness aside and insisted the beings were angels. Soon after, he observed his uncle's positioned on a tilted examination table. 3 taller, thinner, tan-colored beings were working on him. The witnesses could not see the details clearly from the distance. His next memory shifts again. He is laying flat on his back, looking upward at 3 beings. Their facial features are obscured by the intense light, but their heads are rounded and smooth, resemblant of a mask or featureless dome shape. The brightness prevented clear identification. The final memory is him waking up in bed. However, the bed itself has been moved across the room and placed against the window, and he was still in it. So what do you guys think? Do you think this witness had a real alien encounter, an intense dream, or a hallucination? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. The next and final story takes place in July 1979. A 6-year-old child living in a rural farm outside Bloomington, Indiana, reported a terrifying nocturnal encounter involving green lights, paralysis, and what he would later identify as a grayish type being. What is crazy is that it's not the end of the story. Decades later, a similar phenomena resurfaced in a remote forest campground. The witness states that the first incident occurred on July 28, 1979. At the time, he was 6 years old and living with his parents in a trailer located on a rural farm approximately 12 miles from Bloomington, Indiana. He awoke during the night and walked toward the bathroom. As he passed his parents' bedroom, he notices green lights inside. Looking down the hallway, he sees both of his parents asleep on the living room couch. Confused, he entered their bedroom. At that moment, he found himself unable to move, overcome with fear, and he loses consciousness. He awoke laying on what he would describe as a cold table. A bright white light shone directly above him, while the rest of the room glowed with a green illumination. He observed the being and that he would later describe as a gray alien. Because of the green lighting, the being appeared to be green. Honestly, how could he tell if it was a gray alien then? If the alien looked green because of the light, how could he tell if it was... Well, I don't know, man. I guess possible. It's possible, right, Chad? It's possible. When the entity noticed him looking at him, it stared at him, causing an intense crushing sensation in his head. He again loses consciousness. When awareness returns, he was too frightened to move and pretended to be unconscious. He observed the beings manipulating and squeezing the back of his right arm. Since that time, he has lived with a persistent lump in that arm. Over the years, he reported 3 additional abductions. He states that he had learned to remain in dense populated areas, believing this reduced the likelihood of further encounters. Maybe I should live in the middle of nowhere. I kind of want to see aliens, but I don't at the same time. I think it would be really cool to have like a UFO sighting or an abduction story. Well, maybe not an abduction story. That sounds awful, but I still think it'd be kind of cool and unique. And if there's any reptilian-dominated lizards out there watching, I'm kidding. Oh no. The most recent incident occurred while on a camping trip in Tahoe National Forest with his brother and best friend. The 3 were awake in their tent talking. He suddenly observed green lights and asked the others if they could see them. Neither responded. He sensed they were not asleep but somehow unaware. He then blacked out and later regained consciousness on the same type of cold table described in his childhood experience. He believes that at least one of the objects placed in his arm may have functioned as a tracking device and has expressed a desire to have it examined or removed. I could relate to that. I have a tracking device on my ass cheeks. Don't ask. As a child, he once saw a translucent aerial object over the family farm. He described it as resembling the cloaking effect from the creature from the film Predator. He ran to get his mother, but then, when they returned, the object had vanished. During childhood, he referred to the beings as the Green Devils due to his limited frame of reference. He reports that his grandmother seemed to understood what he was describing and told them that they had not been around for a while and that it was best not to discuss them further. So what do you guys think? Did these people experience abductions, or could they have been nightmares that felt so real they believed them, or could this be some kind of hallucination? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, if you have your own encounters with the supernatural, paranormal, UFO, cryptids, and anything scary, you can email me at themanraven20@gmail.com. I'll happily share your story, or maybe do an interview with one of you guys if you wish to tell your story yourself. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video around with your grandma. And grandma, if you watch this, I promise, I hope you're gonna be around a lot longer than 10 years. Okay, I love you. You make some good chicken, and I'm gonna be crushed without you. No, in all seriousness, I do love my grandmas, my mamas. And I hope everyone here listening loves their grandmas too. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next Otherworld episode. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the Otherworld.